The air in the living room felt heavy, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. I stood frozen, my phone trembling in my hand, the screen glowing with a text I wasn't meant to see. "Last night was incredible. You're so much more than he'll ever be." The words, sent from my wife's phone to a number I didn't recognize, seared into my mind like a brand. My chest tightened, each breath a struggle, as the life I'd built with Sarah over 10 years crumbled in a single moment. We'd been married a decade, a milestone we celebrated just last month with a quiet dinner at our favorite Italian place. Sarah's laughter had filled the candlelit booth, her hazel eyes sparkling as she teased me about my clumsy attempts to twirl spaghetti. I thought we were happy. I thought we were enough. But that text, glowing accusingly in the dark, told a different story. I sank onto the couch, the same couch where we'd spent countless nights curled up watching old movies, and tried to make sense of the impossible. The next morning, I watched Sarah move through our kitchen, oblivious to the storm raging inside me. She hummed softly, pouring coffee into her favorite mug, a chipped ceramic thing we'd bought on our honeymoon in Santorini. Her auburn hair fell in loose waves, and she looked so familiar, so mine, that for a moment I doubted the text. Maybe it was a mistake, a cruel prank. But the words echoed in my head, sharp and undeniable. I needed answers, but fear glued my tongue to the roof of my mouth. What if asking shattered everything? "Everything okay, Matt?" Sarah's voice broke through my thoughts, her brow furrowing as she slid a plate of toast across the counter. Her concern felt like a knife twisting in my gut. Was it genuine, or was she playing a part? "Yeah," I lied, forcing a smile that felt like betrayal in itself. "Just tired." I couldn't confront her yet. Not without knowing more. The uncertainty gnawed at me, a relentless ache that followed me to work, where I stared blankly at spreadsheets, my mind replaying that text over and over. That night, I did something I'd never imagined. I checked her phone while she slept. Guilt clawed at me as I scrolled through her messages, each swipe feeling like a violation. But there it was, a thread with Chris, a name I vaguely recalled as one of her co-workers. The messages stretched back months, a secret life unfolding in flirty banter, shared jokes, and plans to meet. "You make me feel alive," she'd written. "Matt's so predictable, so safe. I need more." My vision blurred with tears, but I kept reading, desperate to understand how the woman I loved could see me as less than a man. Chris, I realized, wasn't just a co-worker. He was the guy from her office happy hours, the one who always seemed too friendly, his hand lingering on her arm a second too long. I'd brushed it off, trusting Sarah implicitly. Now, that trust lay in ruins, and I hated myself for being so blind. I wanted to scream, to shake her awake and demand why I wasn't enough. But instead, I slipped the phone back onto her nightstand and lay beside her, staring at the ceiling, my heart a hollow drum. The next day, I called in sick and drove to a park near our house, needing space to think. The autumn leaves crunched under my feet, their vibrant reds and golds a cruel contrast to the grayness inside me. I replayed our marriage, searching for cracks I'd missed. Had she always felt this way? Was I too absorbed in my routine, work, gym, home, to notice her drifting? I thought of the times she'd seemed distant, her sighs when I talked about our future, her late nights at the office. The signs were there, but I'd chosen to see love where there was discontent. I couldn't avoid her forever. That evening, I waited until she was washing dishes, her back to me, and forced the words out. "Sarah, we need to talk." My voice sounded foreign, brittle. She turned, her hands dripping with suds, her expression wary. "What's wrong?" she asked, drying her hands on a towel. The innocence in her eyes made me want to believe her, but the truth was a weight I couldn't carry alone anymore. "I saw the texts," I said, my voice breaking. "With Chris. I know what you said about me." Her face paled, and for a moment, she looked like a stranger. No denial, no quick excuse, just silence heavy and damning. "Matt, she started, but her voice faltered. She sank into a chair, her hands twisting the towel. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this." "Didn't mean for me to find out at all, you mean?" I snapped, the anger I'd suppressed spilling over. "You said I'm not a real man. That my friends are better. What does that even mean, Sarah? What did I do wrong?" Tears welled in her eyes, but they didn't soften me. It's not about you doing something wrong, she said softly. It's just, Chris makes me feel seen. Excited. You and we've been in this routine forever. I started to feel like I was disappearing. Her words cut deeper than the betrayal itself. I'd thought our routine was our strength, the quiet rhythm of a life built together. So you went to him? I asked, my voice raw. You didn't talk to me, didn't try to fix us. You just threw it all away? I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered, but the words felt hollow. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. The distance between us vast and unbridgeable. The days that followed were a blur of pain and indecision. I moved into the guest room, unable to sleep beside her. Part of me wanted to fight for us, to rebuild what we'd lost, but every time I looked at her, I saw Chris's name on her phone, her words branding me as less. I wondered if my friends, guys like Tom and Dave, who I'd invited into our home, knew more than they let on. Had they laughed behind my back, pitying the man who couldn't keep his wife? I met Tom for a beer, probing subtly, but his confusion seemed genuine. Matt, you're scaring me. What's going on? He asked, his brow creased with worry. I couldn't bring myself to tell him, the shame too heavy. Instead, I drank in silence, the bitterness of the beer mirroring my heart. Weeks later, I made my choice. I couldn't stay in a marriage built on lies. I packed a bag, left a note on the kitchen counter. I need time. I'll call you. And drove to a motel. The room was sterile, the silence deafening, but it was mine. I sat on the bed, staring at a photo of us on my phone, taken at a beach last summer. Sarah's smile was radiant, her arms around me, the ocean endless behind us. I'd thought we were forever. Now I was alone, grappling with a future I couldn't imagine. The heartbreak wasn't just losing her. It was losing the man I thought I was. I'd defined myself as her husband, her partner, and now I was nothing. But as I sat there, the weight of her betrayal began to shift. I wasn't the failure she'd made me feel. I was enough, and I'd find a way to believe it again. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of hope. I'd survive this. I had to.